We ran this play a lot this year, but because we've got Sokovia wide in the game, I saw him when he was in there the play before that, and I thought, man, they're setting something up because they had been so heavy to Dominic Lovett in the number 2 position on the trip side before that, and then over on the left-hand side running fast screens. They hadn't put anything jailbreak out yet. But basically, this is the same thing we ran against Texas where we completed it to Lawson Lucky. So what you're going to get is an inside cut by your Z. You're going to have a fast screen rabbit look right here off of this, looking like we're going to throw here because we've thrown it so much, and you're going to get the wheel off of this. Well, what they do right here is they do a good job of sitting back in the zone and actually taking care of both the post and really Sokovi's wheel off of this. And honestly, where he should have gone with it was to Dylan Bell, but I get why they done it. He had already scripted this. This was something he wanted to do. You could tell. And when it's thrown, I mean, immediately you can see here how they're pulling off. They know he should have thrown it here, but he's already pump faked it to air, okay? And he's already committed, I'm going to throw it to Sokovia on this no matter what. And honestly, still, they're in pretty decent shape with where he's at, but it's really just a no, there's just no really chance of him completing. It would have been an unbelievable completion if he did. But like I said, should have probably gone to Dylan Bell on this, but I know he had already had it scripted, already had it set up. We're going to throw it no way. Scovey almost comes down with the ball. All right, so after throwing the screens and the Fox play, we have just a base zone play. And we're going to get basically our step here, step here, step here, here, and here. What you're going to see is Tate's big old 400-pounder boy is going to get off of him and squeeze inside gap. Jerry gets up to him, but his guy squeeze offside gap. And, we make a pretty decent cut back inside. It's a pretty decent run here. What I want to show you is something about what 73 does a lot of this. And it really irritates the piss out of me. And I was just waiting for one day that one of these guys right here just want to call this play just because they can. They just think it's just kind of cute, I guess, because he's doing something, I call him a jopper, where he jumps on the pile. And in this case scenario, he actually doesn't actually jump on the pile. He actually jumps over the pile. But, a decent run here. But watch this by Truss. He goes running over here, and he does a good job. Thank God he jumps over the pile, or that big ass doesn't land right on top of everybody. But they're right there. They're waiting to throw the flag. Okay, there's somebody who threw the flag on this, and they were going to call unsportsmanlike on this. And this is where a white hat does his job correctly. He comes over to the guy and says, listen, I saw it too. He didn't land on the pile. Yes, he's a dumbass. He's a double-barrel dumbass. But he didn't really land on the pile. He's just trying to help along. We probably don't need to throw a flag on that right there, so let's disregard that. That's where a white hat comes in and takes charge to his guys and says, listen, that's not significant right now. It shouldn't be a flag. We're not going to call it or cite it. That's how a white hat works, and that's what happened, even though Truss still is a dumbass. We have run the mesh out of so many different formations, it's not even funny. But basically what we're going to do is send Cash on a flare, and he's going to end up wheeling off of this. We've done this out of so many different formations. Dominic on this side is going to be the deep guy to this side. You're going to get the mesh coming across. So that's going to be run by Urasek and by Dylan Bell. And honestly, Dylan Bell is close to being open on this. But what comes open because they're in man-to-man is what's called the MOB route, move over ball. He's going to sit down like an inside curl route, right where those meshes clear from, and that's what should come open. But Beck's got his mind made up. He's going to throw it to Cash, and I don't have a problem with him throwing it to Cash right here. I know this was probably a preset read where he's going to give it to that outside linebacker, and they're in good shape right here. But you can see the MOB. If he really wanted to throw that, he could if the umpire would get out of the damn way. And Dylan Bell coming across on the mesh. So he's got him open, but he decides to throw it to Cash Jones on this. And, the way I look at it, I would throw this on a rope based off where the safety is at, but he puts a lot of air underneath this and tries to get Cash to run underneath it. And like I said, I'm not going to down him for trying to push something vertically right here. Hell, I talk about it all the time. I want him to do that. It's just barely overthrown. This is just an extension of our run game. Due to the fact that we had ETN, and Cash Jones, and we're looking at Nate Frazier a little bit more. This is just another way to get a guy with the ball in his hands and being able to run from the backfield position. So you're going to get basically a down. You're going to get him going out. He's going to be down. He's going to be down trying to block this. We get the rocket motion, and we're going to just pitch it forward. If he drops it, it's an incomplete pass. More teams are going to this concept now. But again, just trying to get an extension of the run game here and see how well it's blocked. Because you think about it, London Humphreys has not been, necessarily out there just taking care of business. I think he does a good job of sealing. Lucky gets in the way. I'd like to see him fight his hips a little bit more to play side to hook him. Urasek going up to take care of his guy for the kick out. And what I like about it, he just follows Cash Jones here. If Lucky gets on this side, probably helps out a little bit. This is an easy follow, and then he's just got to watch where his hat's at on Cash Jones to make the cut. Where you would love to see, if Cash hits him just right, you would love to see Dylan Bell cut this. But because he gets pressure backside and he gets up in there and he gets really tight now, okay? Obviously, where his hat's at, I would try to push in here, but I think what he sees is this, so he goes outside on this, and it's okay. Still a very good run play from Dylan Bell. I want to say this is zone left, but I've never in my life seen a tackle that chases an X stunt going across. You're going to end up getting a step. They're going to post here, eventually work up here, and Truss should be stepping here. Delp should be stepping here. But his guy kind of ends up running an X. And I've never seen a tackle, instead of just climbing up like he should on true zone, he actually folds behind everybody and tries to go get that guy on the X stunt. And we end up getting this up inside. To me, the way we're getting the ball handed off, I treat this like what I call duo, which is more of a 5-0 man blocking scheme, where you just take the man that's in front of you based off of what they've got here. They've only truly got 4 men on the line of scrimmage at this point in juncture. So you would see a double team here. You would see man block, more than likely. Okay. But that's the reason why I'm wondering if this is a different type of scheme, because I don't understand why Truss goes behind the center and guard right here to try to get this guy on the X stunt. But this is a good run by ETN. Pretty pleased with his efforts here. He doesn't get screwed over on this play and gets up in the hole. But I'm still just perplexed by Truss there and where he went on that play. I mean, you can see here as he crosses, it's like he sees that X stunt. He's like, okay, I'm going to go over. That would be like a fold almost, like if you're running an XB stunt in the old Wing T days, where you're folding up in there, where you get everybody man-o blocking, and then you're folding up inside of the play side backer. But I don't think that's what this is. I truly think it's zone left. But the way that they're handing the football off is just to avert the linebackers to think zone's going right here and ends up going back left. But still, just a very weird play, but still a good run by ETN. All right, this is just an isolation play to our best receiver by far. And I'm not going to give Arian Smith any really grief. I think he's doing a great job. Yeah, he has some boneheaded plays every once in a while, but by far has been our best receiver. Honestly, he is going to run a very deep choice inside curl route. We're going to look like, as Lucky comes across on the drag, what we're trying to do is we're trying to take this half of the field and make them think we're throwing over here. If you watch all the eye discipline by Beck right here, makes everybody feel like it's moving this way. Originally, everybody's going to kind of jump our look here like we're running, toss sweep, what I call just our flare concept, where they end up becoming the safety valve. If this is covered because he drops and he's sitting over the top of it, and the backside, basically the backside is just to pull everybody that way. You're really trying to isolate this one guy right here. Okay. And then the safety valve is your tight end and your running back out here on the flare, and they're the safety valve, and you got a lead blocker. So you're going to see here, everybody jumps on the tall sweep action. Guard pulls over. You can see how that holds everybody. There goes Lucky. Now watch what happens. See, his eyes are looking left. He just now has looked back to the right. So now you've pulled everybody, okay? You even got this guy right here trying to figure out who is he looking at right now, all while he's coming open. And this is just a good throw and catch because we have good protection, good pass pro. Beck has time to throw. Look at that window right there. All the time in the world to throw, and it's all day long. Good job by Arian right there on this catch. I have no problem with Mike Bobo's play calling, honestly. I don't really think there was anything that just made me scratch my head throughout the game, more perplexed of what Carson was doing. But you're going to get Arian on the deep route, and what you're going to get with the two guys off screen is you're going to get basically a double dig. This is the one that we throw to Dominic Lovett behind him. We end up getting 6-man pressure because we're going to show zone action, play action, and we're going to block with these 6 up front plus a 7th right here off the play action. This is just a 3-receiver progression, and you're looking in the hole for one of these two positions to see what comes open, and Dominic is the throat. There's no doubt. But this is probably the least stressed play that Carson had, where he just misses the throw in the window. And this is, I've been talking about, there's one thing that Carson Beck throws very well. It's because of the leverage of his defender here. He sees this. There's my dumbass umpire standing right in the middle of the damn field. Instead of moving up down the line of scrimmage, he becomes a nice 12th defender for Florida. So now Beck's he's going to throw it off the umpire's left shoulder, his right shoulder. He just throws it behind him. I mean, if you think about it, if he throws that out here just a little bit more, Lovett runs underneath that, and he's going to get up the sideline with this guy chasing. He's going to end up being 1-on-1, hopefully, with this block here. Does he score? Probably not, but it's definitely an explosive play that we're talking good things about, but instead throws behind him, incomplete pass. Okay, here, this is a simple check with me at the line of scrimmage. You're going to see Carson as he brings the F-back back in. I've been noticing they've been doing a lot more of this lately where they're sending the F-back out and then bringing him back in. And what they're wanting to know is whether they're in zone or man just by that check read. So if they see the linebacker widen with him, they're thinking, okay, he's in man. I know what I want there. If he doesn't widen out with him, it makes him feel like, okay, we got zone here. In this case, we got a zone situation. And what you see here, I mean, if you look at the hats for what we've got out here, basically, they're saying, okay, he's the hat that basically has him apex. He's the hat that has him apex, and he's the hat that has the outside guy apex. I mean, this guy is 10 yards off the football. So what here, Carson does a good job of making a check with me at the line of scrimmage, and that's the little hand motion he's making right here. It's obviously something that they do with this to where they know they're going to throw the fast screen to the number 2 receiver right here, and that's what they do. They get out, throw the ball quick. Dominic gets it, gets upfield. Great extension of the run game and a good play. I see a play like this, and it makes me just shake my head at Carson Beck because, man, these are the kind of throws he has to make because he doesn't necessarily always going to have a receiver that can separate himself from the defensive player. We're going to end up getting our check down right here. Lawson Lucky is going to run a vert. Arian Smith's going to run a vert. And what they're trying to do is just leverage these guys out of here so that they can isolate Dylan Bell on the dig coming underneath this. This is a completely, again, an isolation route where you're checked down right here off of this. These two guys are your decoys. Okay. Right now, pre-snap, you're not throwing to either one of these guys just based off where your defense is at. So that dig is going to be the play, and it hits very well. Off this play action, you've ended up getting a running back out in the formation as well, but the linebacker picks him up too, runs with him. Carson's got a great pocket to throw in, and this is the kind of, this is what makes us love Carson Beck as much as those people like myself who hated him through the process of what I saw him do on Saturday. But he makes this kind of throw right here. Dylan Mill makes a great catch. This is what I used to call all right, this is 68 Y stick, and what we do here is you basically have a 3-receiver progression on this side. What you're going to get on the backside is double slants. They're in zone, and honestly, this could have been close to being picked as well. I don't know if he trusts Delp or not. I don't know what it is about Delp, but Delp ends up, because this is quick, it's one of those things where we're going to get the go by Arian. They're going to motion him and wiggle him on an arrow route. So it's a 3-receiver progression. And what you do is you play basically a game with what would be a hole defender here. But since we're probably going to get a rush by him, it's really an easy throw because this is your next guy. So you would think the arrow route would come open. But if he's sitting on it like cover 2 and he's over the top, then you got a different storyline. But to me, he's not even looking to the stick side. He's looking to the backside slant now. So you get the wide open. But what I want you to see as they're beginning to run this, you've got the guy that I thought was coming off the edge dropping. But he doesn't even have a clue that Delp's behind him. All right. So you can see here he takes off. They're in a cover 2. All right. But you could have thrown it in the hole to Arian. But he's already got his mind made up. Delp is open too off of this as well, but he wanted to throw it immediately on the backside slant here because of the levers that you have here. But I see 3 guys in zone. sitting there. And this guy comes awfully close to intercepting the football here. This is a great catch by Dylan because the ball's thrown behind him as well. And Dylan making Carson look good. We're going to have to save this for a rainy day, but man, Carson hasn't even thrown the picks yet. And, what I see here out of this formation is realistically 2 guys that could have caught a touchdown pass on this. We're going to come across and we look like we're running ghost power. But we're going to get a slip here by our tight end off of this, off the fake, because what you're doing is you're drawing him in to throw the football here. But I want you to watch Dylan Bell off of this on the inside seam, and I want you to watch Cash Jones off of the wheel route right here, that if he holds the ball just an extra second instead of throwing it to Delp, which I get it, Delp slips, he takes the pitch or takes the bait here off the run action. But Dylan Bell is wide open right here. Cash Jones, because him now chasing Dylan because of the covers they're in, he ends up coming open. So he's throwing the football right now. But if you look, Dylan Bell could have been open. Cash Jones could have been open. We've got to be thinking about this down the road instead of wanting to throw the ball so quick. He hasn't thrown the ball to Delp very much. It seems like there's a trust issue with Delp. I don't know what it is. But here, by God, he was going to throw that immediately. And still, good play by Delp. But my God, I would throw that or that right there, either one. So I don't know if it's something where he already had it in his helmet from Coach Bobo. Hey, if he slips and pulls, you need to throw it Delp now. And, of course, he's maybe taking that advice. But still, I see this guy right here. I see this guy right here. And I'm wondering, my God, man, easy hindsight 2020. But I hope they showed that on film. We save that for a rainy day. And that's something down the road that we use. Good run by Delp, though. I'm not really sure why this is called from the left hash to be looking to isolate something, because you can tell Aaron gets knocked off his route, is on an out route. I'm not sure what they're doing on this side right here. Typically, I would crisscross that to bring him across, but once you see off the fake here, once Carson looks right and sees that he gets knocked off, you never see any receiver come into the screen. So that lets me know that both of these receivers were running something outside the hash and not coming back inside on this, or at least the film didn't give it enough time to see if we got a post here or something that at least complements that out route. What you'll end up getting for Urasek is him flooding back to the back of the end zone. Cash comes across and ends up being chased. And I don't know why he thought Urasek was the better throw here, because I think if he just lightly throws the football, Cash Jones should have caught this ball and probably scores on this. Because as he comes across on this action, now he can't throw. You can't see Carson because of the labeling. But anyhow, out here, you see nothing as he begins to move to the there is still nobody in the screen. So that tells me everybody that was on the right side is outside this frame right now. But I want you to watch Cash. What makes him think Urasek might be the play here? You dump it out in front of Cash, he's being chased by the hip. That's a much easier throw to him than it is to him. All right. But I don't know why he thought to throw to 84 here and not to 32. If this is what we have to do to make sure that we have time to throw the football and we have some success in our play, we're going to start doing this. I'd love to see it, tell you honest truth. We're going to get zone play action, so it's going to look like split zone because we're going to end up getting, I think, some inside rip motion here that comes across like split and ends up becoming 7-man protection. What you're going to have is Arian's going to run the post or an inside cut, which is going to make your leverage defender in zone have his eyes this way because he's wanting to take the inside cut away. And Landon Rowland, that's not Landon Rowland. He's not there yet. London Humphreys is going to come in and run a choice option, just a deep curl on the inside here. And we finally have a sighting for 16 to catch the football. But again, it's because Carson Beck has time to throw off the play action. Everything's set up very well. So there's your 7-man protection off play action look. There's your 7 guys. You're going to end up getting only 3 receivers in the progression. You're going to get the deep end cut. You're going to get the curl route. And he is your flat outside choice option if those 2 plays are dead off of this. So, good catch by London and moving the chains. I really don't know what Carson Beck has with throwing the football away, but this is just a play that happens 5-6 times a ball game where you just have no one to throw to. We're in empty set. We got trips to the left. We got deuces to the right. So you got, I think it's Urasek and Lucky. Outside of Lucky, I believe, is Arian Smith. And then you got the running back, I think it's ETN or Frazier, and then London Humphreys. And realistically, there's not one person he can throw to here because of the way they've got it bracketed. So I just want to show you right now, pretty good pressure. 5 guys blocking 4. Truss is the only one that lets his guy go. But because he can't make the throw off of whatever he was looking at to start with over here, now he's beginning to panic because his window of time is going off. But realistically, he shouldn't be panicking. We've still got a pretty good pocket right here. But yet there's no safety valve here. Notice there's no guy running across the middle. It is all outside seams. Everything across the middle is going deep. I think outside you've got a hitch over here. You've got a hitch over here with Humphreys trying to get across by this. But by the time he recognizes Humphreys coming over, the safety fits it, and he's got a guy trailing. And then there's a corner sitting on top of the running back. So he's dead. Now, so when he flushes right here, why not just throw the ball out of bounds? Continue to run and throw it right over his head out of bounds. I know they have to be talking to him about this. There is no reason why you should pull up right now thinking that you've got this throw. That is a very hard throw to make with a right-handed cornerback coming across your body and making that throw where it's bracketed. This is basically like what a cover 2 trap would look like to something like this, where you're sitting here baiting him to throw that football so that if he does, all you got to do is run backwards and you got the pick. I mean, that is perfect right there to bracket like a cover 2 trap. But again, just a poor thought process by Carson not throwing it away. And Florida comes away with their first interception. And it doesn't get much easier for Beck as time goes on, even though he did finish with decent statistics. Unfortunately, these interceptions are going to come back to haunt him if he doesn't fix and get it cleaned up. This is, again, I like this out of a Ricky set. We're going to bring Ricky Liz and end up having a pro set to this side, and we still got our attached H on this side, and we're going to get Urasek on a wide release and just right over the top here. They get kind of confused with this motion, who's going to go out wide, so it ends up occupying the safety and this outside backer right here to fit, and this is just throw and catch right here. These guys are settling in. It's 1st and 10. They think more than likely we're going to be running our zone play. We make it look like split zone with Delp coming across here, so it really brings those linebackers in, coming across. Play action, you pull your linebackers down, throw and catch to your tight end. Very nice play design right there. This is something that the Young Bucks going to have to get better at. We're going to end up running ghost power here. And I want to show you real quickly the idea behind this, because if everybody's doing their job, they should be getting down blocks working up to him. Center's going to be blocking back on the 2. Guard should be pulling to kick out, but because he squeezes it down like he does, Micah ends up like logging him right there. All right, he's going to step inside gap. Truss is not let anything get across his face to chase. Oscar Delp is trying to fold up inside of that kick out block, and something Frazier's got to learn to do is be a little bit more patient. If you ever bounce power, typically it's dead, and in this case, it is dead. I know that it doesn't look much better going up inside of this, but what you've got to do is follow where the scheme's supposed to hit. I know he's got him logged, and now Delp's trying to get up in here, but if he's patiently waiting and can follow up inside these trenches right off these rear ends, he's probably not going to get a ton of yards, but it's going to be more of an effective run for him getting up inside where his leverage is. And I noticed that's a lot of lumber right there. But he's got to learn to follow his blockers. If you do end up getting a log, Delp is supposed to, off of this log, fit outside now to get to him. It's only if he gets kicked out if Delp fits up inside of that. But because Micah's got him logged right here, Delp should have went around Micah to seal that there. Then you can bounce, okay? But I would follow where you're inside. This guy right here, to me, tells you the track that where you need to go. But Delp ends up giving him the wrong path because, you know, like I said, it's slow developing. Micah has to log because he's squeezing the down right here. And once you bounce, you can see here, you got nothing for that. He would be following right up inside of this right now if he stayed where he was at. Probably getting tackled by somebody shedding a block right here. But still, that's better than being one-on-one, and he's not going to outrun this guy. Only thing he can do right here is hopefully outrun him, and he doesn't. Gets tackled outside for a loss. I really don't know why their defense coordinator didn't, stay in this a lot more, especially in 1st and 10 situations. And I remember seeing a stat that a lot of his interceptions, I think roughly half of Carson Beck's interceptions, have happened on 1st and 10 situations. So, when I look at this, we're going to get the double dig concept. All right. So you got the guys coming across on the double dig. On the backside, you're going to get something that's running away from that to try to pull everybody off of this. And, my thing is off the check down, we get the running back out. But the problem that we have here with this is Monroe Freeling, who we're very high on taking his place. He's in there for Ernest Green right now, and he gets beat, and that speeds up Carson Beck's window. We can look play side. You're going to get the out route, the arrow route to pull defenders away. What you're trying to do is pull these 4 away. But, guys, they're sitting in the middle of the field. They are baiting him to throw the football in the middle of the field, which is where he wants to go. In man-to-man, it's pretty good. And he goes more man in the second half, which blows me away because they were really screwing with Carson's mind when they were in zone. And they're baiting him to throw the football. You got guys in front, leverage here, leverage here. They're wanting to throw this guy on the clear. He's going to try to throw this guy on the dig. But because he's getting pressure from Monroe Freeland's guy being blocked, now they've got this guy rolling over from this hash, this guy sitting here, and the guy chasing. All right. There are 3 dudes here that are ready to pick this football off. And it is a no-brainer. I mean, look at that. Triple coverage. Honestly, what Carson Beck does very well is throwing it from here to here, in between the hashes all day long. I would zone defend him inside and make him throw outside the hashes all day long, and we'd end up getting check downs. Hardly rarely would you ever see anything thrown outside because they've catered the offense to him because they know what he's good at throwing. And honestly, this is what Florida did a good job of, playing zone and sitting back and baiting him to throw those middle of the field throws. And of course, getting the pick right here. And again, this is his second pick on his second series. And now we're beginning to even doubt what 15's even seeing out there. I may be a little bit petty here on this, but this is something I wish we would do, where we would already have Urasek over here. Maybe, have him inside and then bring him back down inside, and they end up crisscrossing where he blocks down. He blocks out on the crisscross, and the guy that's out wide blocks man on. But I'd rather see Frazier go in motion and we catch and throw with him outside the tackle box. This is a hard get for Ernest Green to try to cut him, because this is the guy that ends up screwing up the play because he gets off this cut block and gets down the line of scrimmage and actually chases Nate down from the inside. If he's not there, there's a different play here. Because you can see here, he misses the cut. Now the defensive end's out. And we've got numbers right here. We got the inside block. He's going to take the next. He's got the next. Now we're looking, if we got those 3 guys blocked, it's man on man, and we got this guy coming upfield to make the tackle. But because that defensive end gets off Ernest Green, Urasek's losing his block currently. But he gets him out enough to where, think about it, this is the guy that Ernest Green didn't get blocked. If he's not there, we've got possibly a play where he's continuing it off Dylan Bell right here, and he could get down the sideline because of this poor angle by this guy right here. But, one block in that case scenario, and I don't really blame Ernest Green. That's a tough block. He's a wide 5. He's almost in a 6-7 technique where a tight end would be at. So, still a good play. It's still a positive yardage extension of the run game. I wish they would change it up how they give it to the F-back out of that, but I can live with that. We get into this linebacker's head later on in the game because we end up running the angle off of this instead of the quick out. And, this is, again, an extension of the run game and 5-man progression, because I think we do an excellent job here of our pass pro on the X stunt that's coming out of this. We look really fundamentally technically sound on this. What I am noticing, though, is we are struggling to get off man-to-man stuff. And so when you got man-to-man guys that are just not getting off right here, they're in 2-man, and you can see the linebacker running. This is a linebacker progression that you used to learn day one if you're working on man-on-man with running backs out of the backfield, is meeting them what I used to call the apex point off the edge of the tackle. So what he's going to do is he's going to run up to him, and like I said, because of where his leverage is at, he's going to push him as hard as he can inside and then run the out cut. Eventually, you get linebackers that start overstepping that to the out, and you run the angle route. And an angle route is something I think we need to run more of, honestly. I called it in the Texas game saying we needed to run more of it, and Cash Jones ends up catching that angle route later on in the game for the touchdown that he has. But you can see here, man on, man on, man on, and you got 2 safeties sitting there. Our pass pro looks really good up front. I mean, the pocket, other than a little bit of pressure here off the left guard area, possibly the center, I think is who that is right there. But he's got a step on him, and this is just a good throw and catch. Cash Jones getting up front looks really sweet. So, again, just watch it from the full tilt. Watch our lineman catch the X stunt off of this, pick it up beautifully, throw it to Cash off the out route, and get positive yardage. This is almost the third pick that he throws, and I don't know, just leveraged by the defender. I'm not really sure being 3rd and 10. I'm sure they're playing sticks, it looks like. You can see how every defender is sitting right at the first down marker. And, my thing is that he's still looking to throw the ball off of his back foot because he does get pressure. They bring more than we can block here in this situation. I believe they bring all these guys up front because you got 5 guys at the stick, so they bring 6-man pressure, and we've got 6 to block. So actually we should have enough to fit, but of course they're bringing it exotically from different gaps, and so we're having to try to pick all that up as we do, but we have enough to take care of the 6 that they're bringing. And what you're going to get right here is kind of the old 94 concept where you're going to get the go on this side with the out on this side. You're going to get a dig on this side with a sit-down choice route. And because of the depth that they get off of the push, I don't know why he thinks, with where everybody is at here, why he thinks that the dig is what he needs to throw here. Based off the depth of your defensive players, I mean, why not just try to throw right here with this guy in front of you? I know it's short of the first down marker, but like I said, throwing off your back foot to try to throw the dig because you're trying so hard to get that first down. I mean, throw it here. He comes up, makes a tackle, so be it. You may be in field goal range or you put yourself in a situation with 4th and short to go for it, but why force it in there? Why force that in there? And Arian almost ends up with a great catch off the deflection here, but still incomplete pass, but almost a 3rd pick. Please give me more of this. I need this like I need air. We are going to run just zone right here. But what I love about it is that we get rocket action, like we're going to run the laser jet sweep. We get split action with our H-back. We get steps. Step in here, post and climb. They do a great job on this deuce block post up to the play side backer. Step here. These 2 guys are going to work on the double team to get up here. And with that action, you're going to get him to come over and take care of the split guy right here, who would be the read technique typically, but when you're under center, you don't have that. And, I mean, this is just a great job by 3 seeing the hole off the give. So everything's set up perfectly. Now, believe it or not, Truss got called for a hold earlier in the game that honestly wasn't nowhere near the hold of this one right here. And I'm going to call it as I see it. But, this is actually worse looking than the one he actually got the hold call for. But this is just great vision by Nate. This is what we want to see out of this. But you know why I think this is so effective? Let me back this up just a little bit. You know why I think it's so effective? Because when the running back is getting the football, let me back it up a little bit. When the running back is getting the football, he is not going at a 45-degree angle one way or the other. He is coming straight downhill to get the football and is able to make a cut going full freaking speed. And that's what I want to see. Great fake, split action, reverse out, downhill, freaking just north and south football, guys. Love it. Good job, 3. Good run. It's amazing if they give him time to throw the football. I'm just glad he didn't throw it to Dylan Bell on this because he falls down. But we're going to get, these guys on the left-hand side are going to occupy our all of our defenders on that side with their cuts on this side. And what's going to happen is we're going to end up getting the double digs again, something that we really like running. But if we have time to throw it, it is a beautiful play. We end up throwing it to Dominic Lovett on the completion because that's by far his best throw that he has in the window of time. Dylan Bell falls on the backside, and that's typically where they want to throw the football at. This time they throw the first one coming across off of this. Man, a beautiful throw and catch because we pick it up front. We do a really good job off of this set. We got basically, again, the double goes here that should clear everything. You can see how he's pushing on the post. He's pushing on the wheel. Here comes the first opener because these 3 are basically defending these 2. And this is just a good pocket, a good clean pocket, a good throw and catch to Dominic Lovett. These are the kind of catches I want to see 6 start making. We run this play just enough to where I don't feel like we overuse it. but I do think it's something that we have cleaned up over the years, last couple of years, because of how many different ways we've run it. But basically, they're going to bring Lucky back down inside, and what we're going to show here off of this is we look like we're handing off on true zone to Nate Frazier here coming down this way. So what it does, it opens Carson to his left, because you're going to end up getting the toss over the top. He looks like he's pulling for power, and then he puts his foot in the ground and comes back out. And I love how they step, and then they're gone on this. And what I like about on the backside to this is that you look like you're just kind of blocking inside, and the backside tackle comes around. I love it. And he's sitting there ready for anybody who figures it out and is coming back this way and runs into a wall right there. It's a really well-designed play. I love the way it's set up. I'm not going to take anything away on Dylan Bell's throw and catch right here. We get this out here just to become a safety valve. We're going to get the slant, and that's where Carson wants to throw because he sees where the safety's at, thinks he can hit it underneath. I really don't get this, though, where we're getting the arrow route, Delp releases on a straight vert, and I think he ends up curling this up because Cash ends up hitting out here as a 3-receiver progression into the boundary. But, I mean, he looks right now, he's wanting to throw the backside, and Dylan makes a great catch. Staying with the football, not getting knocked off his path, and catching. He ends up getting the breath knocked out of him is what it looks like to me. But I want you to watch Oscar Delp right here on this play. I don't know what it is with him and Oscar, but I just think there's a trust issue there because he doesn't even think about wanting to go vertically where he has this, where this free safety. He could actually look this free safety over just a little bit and then dump it to Delp over the top right here. You know, to me, you say, well, it looks kind of covered. I don't see him getting over to that. He could widen and throw it right there on the left stem of the A. I don't think he gets to that. But again, good throw and catch right here. Good job of Dylan Bell staying with it all through it and ends up knocking the breath out of him. All right. This is I really like this play because it's a good old-fashioned run type play here that you don't get to see anymore. A lot of people refer to this as duo, but back in the wing T days, what you would have is you would have a back sitting right here. Typically you had A back, B back, F back. And what you would do is you run the XB ISO. So you would end up getting a double team here. You would have man block here, and he would fold inside to the play side backer. You would reverse out and hand it to you back, hitting right there from under center though. So what they've decided to do now with this duo concept, we're basically just running an XB ISO. And so what you end up getting is you end up getting the double team here. He steps out and blocks man on man. And you get the H-back actually rolling inside to take care of this. He steps up inside, gets the football, and follows it here. And just love the play. The play design is really cool to be able to run the duo. Steps up inside and a good run. I just wish your state would stay the block. All right. Okay. Again, remember I was telling you about how they're moving the F back around, like moving him out, moving back in, and they know whether they got man-to-man versus whether they've got zone or not. So it gives them an idea of whether they can throw the football right here. Remember how I told you a while ago he's going to go out here and meet the linebacker who's going to step out with him, and he ends up running the out route and catches it. Now, this is the route that I love because you end up getting that out route run so much, you get a linebacker who out-leverages it, and now you've got the angle route on the inside, and this is just one-on-one right here with him and Cash Jones, and Cash Jones makes him pay. I love the fact of him, his willpower wanting to get in the end zone, man. I love his gritty ability right here. Get off my doggy. You know, here we are again in a situation tied 20-20 with a very inferior Florida team. We're about ready to basically come out with our pitchforks and our stakes and our lighted torches to more or less go to Carson Beck's house and burn it down, myself included. I will throw myself into that same barrel of monkeys. I was just right there with them thinking the exact same thing. We need a big play right here. It's 3rd and 7 with 6:04 in the fourth. It's tied 20-20. We're deep in our territory right here. And Carson Beck has made a check at the line of scrimmage because he sees what's up front. And what he's going to get right here is he's going to get basically mesh. This is a 3-receiver progression. And he's going to get a deep out by Arian, and the guy he wants to go to is Arian. So we're going to block with 7-man pressure. And I want you with a 7-man pass pro. They'll get all this pressure, and I'm just going to show you how beautiful this pass pro is picked up. All the crosses, exotic stunts, everybody is stalemated. Great job by the entire front. In fact, Cash has nobody to even block right here. So he's waiting on this last guy. Dylan Bell comes wide open on this too, but Arian has his guy beat too. He could have thrown it to him or to him, but he decides to go deep right here to Arian Smith. And this is just stepping up in the pocket, being Carson Beck, number 15, that we want to play for the Georgia Bulldogs and be the guy and be the man and be our leader and be our QB1. This is a delivery he makes to this guy right here. Just an easy throw and catch to number 11. Again, converting a long 3rd and long and getting the first down that ends up taking us to the end zone later. Can you believe it? The Cash Jones actually helps us score a touchdown right here. When I saw this, I noticed they brought the F back out to see what they would do with these receivers to see if you had man or zone. And when they bring him back down inside, they have everybody thinking that we're going to be getting jailbreak out to this side and that Cash is going to get it. We're going to get this primary block, but they forgot about the trip side over here. We're going to end up catching the ball on the jailbreak screen. So we're going to get the kick out. We're going to get guys going out in space, and Dominic's going to catch the ball and get up underneath all of this and score on the jailbreak screen right here. Just because of what's happened with Cash. I mean, if you look at everything that goes out right here, everybody flies out to Cash's side. You'll notice you got 4 guys going out. Now, we're going out to fit this. We're going to get the kick out. So whoever my one guy is on this side that's going out on the jailbreak, actually 2, the center and the guard, they got to take care of this one guy right here. This one dude is the only one that almost catches him. Gets a hand on him right there. Great job by that DN. We got to occupy him a little bit better, but he misses the tackle, and Dominic puts it in the zone. Congratulations, Dwight Phillips, on your first collegiate touchdown. You know, I remember sitting in a coach's clinic before, and I had a guy that was up front talking, and there were some people out in the audience who obviously run the wing T. And, you know, I remember that guy looking down on those dudes going, you know, we don't run the wing T in college. We're a, high institution that has prolific offenses and stuff like that. But, I sit here and think to myself, guys, we are in wing slot. You've got your wing off your tight end. You got your slot off your tackle with your XY with one back. The only thing that would be a little bit different right here is if we brought another guy in. We actually have another. Let's see if we have slot to this side. So this is all 11 players on the screen right here. You got the tie with H, and you got your deuces left, basically. So, but this is just good old-fashioned wing T jet sweep. And what I love about this is not only do we hand it to them, but we have this reverse out where we can get the toss off of this. If we're blocking and reaching, you're going to outrun this guy, and you could actually toss off this too. But this is just speed getting outside, and this is using leverage. Right now, you've got a wall. Eventually, you're going to want to put your foot in the ground, and what he's thinking, I've got to put my foot in the ground eventually when I see a hat show. When he sees that first orange hat show, I love the fact that he finally puts his foot in the ground and goes and gets in the end zone. Beautiful play there, 20.